Hello and welcome to another StarCraft 2 co-op video. Today I'll be talking about how I use hotkeys for Abathur. I use all 10 hotkeys because there are so many things I need to control throughout the game. I use 7 for the hatchery. This is the key I use for the initial production structures. This is the same for all Zerg commanders, and then for Protoss I use it for the gateway, for Terran I use it for the barracks. I use 6 for the evolution chamber. I built a spire near the evolution chamber so I can access those upgrades easily as well. And I switch 6 to the spire after the ground upgrades are done, or if I'm mainly focusing on air units. In the late game, I use 6 for swarm hosts when I'm also using Vipers. More on that later. 3 is my biomass collector. This is also the key I use for my hero unit. After getting 3 Brutas, I use 3 for Mutas to get 3 Leviathans. If I make Ravagers, those guys will be on 3. And since they come in the late game, it will be fine. And I will use F2 to move forward and 3 to pull them back to keep them safe when they have low biomass. My first spore goes on 4. After I get a Brutalist, I hotkey it to 4. All the Brutas go onto 4 when I have 3 of them, making it easier to deep tunnel anywhere to tank, gang up on rifts, deal with early game props using symbiotes, and dealing with trickles that happen to attack my base. 2, 5, and 8 are used for each Bruta. This way I can send each one at a rift whenever they show up. Why 2, 5, 8? 258 is an important number set in Mahjong. If you know, you know. And this makes it easier to remember and stay focused. 1 is used for toxic nests during the initial luring. Turn off autocast, then press 1 and X when the enemies walk over them. Later on, 1 is used for a variety of things. If I'm going swarm hosts, they go in 1. Leviathans also go in 1 as a rift hit squad. I also use 1 for my air army, especially when I'm going full air after Brutus, but I want the Brutus at home. Now that I use Vipers more often, 1 is for Vipers, or Vipers plus army. This way I can move my whole army without the Brutalists when dealing with rifts. 9 and 0 are for various extras, since they're the hardest for my fingers to reach. I use them for the objective units such as the Truck, Gennaro Pusher, or the Crystal Collectors. I use them for Leviathans if I need them in a control group when also using Vipers. I use them for Devourers when I want a few of them but need to collect some biomass first, and especially if I have 3 on Ravagers already. If I'm playing P3, I'll use 9 for a 4th Brutalist for rifts. That way I have 1 Bruta for each of the 4 rifts that spawns. I have a control group for Queens if I want them to stay away from combat. I use them for a separate group of Vipers for defense against props back at home. And I use them for Omegas, however rare that might be. Lastly, I use it for a hatchery on VP or OE so that the rally units aren't killed by enemies between the bases. I used 9 for the main hatchery in VP since it's far from the action, and I used 9 for the natural hatchery in OE. As for rhythm, there are mainly 2 patterns. The first one is 2 Rift, 5 Rift, 8 Rift. The Brutalists take about 20 seconds to take out Rift. Then I press 4, gang up on the last one before the rift spawns enemies, which is 30 seconds after the rifts appear. I also use 1B, 3C, 1C, then move if necessary. Here, I blinding cloud several areas, then shoot some Ravager bios on the enemy units, then consume some of my units for energy. If I'm using hosts as well, I manually send out the locusts first and then do the rest. It's not often that I use hosts, Vipers, and Ravagers, but if I do, then I would also throw in some bios. And that's it for this video. What are your hotkeys for Abathur? Comment them down below. Thanks to all the members who are supporting me. If you would like to join, check out the link in the description. And while you're here, why don't you check out my guide for Void Rifts as Abathur? See you there!